then last but certainly not least on the mound, the old man, the legendary LeRoy Satchel Paige. Arguably the greatest pitcher this sport has ever seen. We know for certain the oldest rookie in the history of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball says that Satchel was 42 years old when he finally got his opportunity to play with the Cleveland Indians in 1948 as a rookie. Cleveland would win the World Series. Many thought Satchel should have been named Rookie of the Year. He goes 6-1 with a 2.4 ERA his rookie season at age 42, which means he likely was closer to 52. Never told his real age, and quite frankly, I'm not sure he knew his real age, which is not far-fetched because there were a lot of people, particularly those born in the Deep South, who did not know how old they were. Everybody's born at home to a midwife. That birth record was kept where? In the Bible. Back page of the family Bible. You're absolutely right. And it might be days, weeks, months, years, if ever, it was taken to the courthouse and officially recorded as a birth record. So there were a lot of people who did not know how old they were. And as Satchel would whimsically pose the question, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you were? Or that age is simply mind over matter. If you don't mind, and that is how he led his life. And I think had he told his real age, he never would have gotten that opportunity to fulfill that dream of playing in the major leagues. Satchel Paige takes a pay cut to go to the major leagues. Because in the Negro leagues and along the barnstorming circuit, Paige was likely one of the highest paid players in the country because he was pitching 2 or 3 innings almost every day. And everybody wanted to see Satchel Paige pitch. Towns would shut down to go watch the great LeRoy Satchel Paige pitch. In his prime, they clocked his fastball at 105 miles per hour. But what really made him so special, at 105 is pretty doggone special, but what really made him so special, the pinpoint control. He could put it exactly where he wanted to put it, and even as an old man, he never lost his ability not to just throw strikes, but the catcher set the target. He hit the target. Yeah. Paige didn't warm up in the bullpen like most pitchers do using home plate. You know what they would use? A stick of foil chewing gum wrapper. The catcher would sit the chewing gum wrapper on top of home plate, and wherever the catcher moved the chewing gum wrapper, Satchel right over the top of that chewing gum wrapper. And as Satchel would say, he worked both corners of that chewing gum wrapper. Never lost his ability to put the ball where he needed to put the ball. He was absolutely amazing. The late great Buck O'Neil would say of Satchel, he said that he's the 3 most charismatic athletes he ever thought lived in this modern era of sports. Satchel Paige, Dizzy D, and of course the late great Muhammad Ali. 3 most charismatic athletes he said he'd ever seen. They could sell it, but not only could they sell it, they could back it up. Yeah, they were all amazing. Paige had all these names for his pitches. So he didn't have fastball, curveball, changeup. No, not Satchel. Satchel had what he called the midnight crawler, the 2-humper, the back dodger, the long Tommy, which was his supersonic pitch, the short Tommy, which was just merely unhittable. He had the hesitation pitch. And so a few summers ago, I'm in Washington, D.C., and we're meeting with the Washington Nationals. And so after my meeting, they take me down on the field. We're going to watch the Nats take batting practice. And so when I get down on the field, they take me over and introduce us to Davey Johnson, who at that time was the Nationals manager. He retired at the end of that season. And so when we get on the field, the minute he finds out who I am and where I'm from, the first words come out of his mouth. I've got to tell you my Satchel Paige story. Now, mind you, everywhere I go, somebody got a Satchel Paige story or a Buck O'Neil story. So I'm like, all right, man, let me hear your story. He says, I faced Satchel for the first and only time in 1964. Now, again, in 1964, Paige is either 58 or 68. And he says, so Satchel, he says, Satchel walked me. But after the game, he says he goes over in the dugout and he sits down next to Satchel. And he says, well, Satchel, tell me, what's your best pitch? And he says, Satchel looks up at him and he smiles. He says, son, that would be my B-ball. And Johnson's looking just like you guys are, wondering what the heck is a B-ball. Satchel says, it bees where I want it to be. He did have in his arsenal of pitches his famous B-ball. Buck say he had 3 pitches. He had a dominating fastball, a great changeup, and a show-me curve. Didn't have a great curveball, but the fastball was so dominant that you had to sit on the fastball or you had no way to catch up with it. And so he would get guys out spinning his curveball up there. Yeah, he was absolutely amazing. Some of you may remember Charlie Finley. Finley would bring Satchel back to pitch here in 1965. Again, he is reportedly 59 at that time. He pitches 3 shutout innings against the Boston Red Sox, giving up only 1 hit in those 3 innings. Great trivia question. 1965 Boston Red Sox, who got that long hit off of Satchel? Yes, very good, yes. Yes, the only guy to get a hit off the Paige at age 59, which again means he could have been 69 years old. Yes gets a double against the old man. Satchel leaves him at third, shut down everybody else over the course of 3 amazing innings in one of the most amazing pitching feats in baseball history. What makes it even funnier is Satchel had faced Yaz's father 2 decades before that. Matter of fact, I just did an interview the other day with Rico Petrocelli. Petrocelli was on that 65 Red Sox team. And he says, we all went to the plate hacking away at that old man. They thought they were going to light this old dude up. And he says, at that time, Satchel's fastball was still 86, 87 miles an hour, and he's painting it black. He's putting it exactly where he wanted to, again at age 59, which means he could have been 69 years old. Just absolutely amazing. Charlie Finley and Satchel played this whole age thing up to the hilt. So Finley actually had a rocking chair in the bullpen. Oh, but it gets better. And a nurse. One last thing about the field. The chicken wire is symbolic of American segregation. During that era, if black fans were allowed in to watch a major league game, this is how we were separated. Black fans would sit down the left or the right field lines. We were isolated or separated from white fans with a chicken wire barrier. Here we separate all of our visitors from the centerpiece of our exhibition with chicken wire. Come on in.